Minerals occur in the earth naturally and unevenly distributed in a solid state. It maintains stableness in room temperature and possesses a well-framed atmospheric structure substantially represented by a chemical formula. Mineral resources are naturally occurring resources that can never be restored. They exist in organisms as inorganic or organic ions or molecules. In plants, they exist as micro or macronutrients. The mineral resources have become a part and parcel of life of the people and the industrial society as well. As the mineral resources can never be restored and its existence in the Earth's crust is uneven, prime potentiality goes into the preservation of mineral resources. Without the proper utilization of mineral resources, if exploited in a rude manner, it would affect the future existence of mankind. The deposit of mineral resources differs in the density in the globe. The development grabs the utility of mineral resources in all sectors from food to machineries. But it meets the demands and requisites of the population not only of the present but also of the future when utilized in the proper way. The scientific study of these minerals is named as metallurgy. Metallurgy emphasizes on the view that the role of mineral resources in day-to-day lifespan of human beings is augmenting day by day. The exploitation of mineral resources in a different way shoots up its adverse effect on the environment in many ways. Deforestation, exploitation causes pollution of air, land and water. It damages the biodiversity and ecology of Earth. It results in problem with rehabilitation. Cast inauspicious effects on land due to excavation. There are more adverse effects to be talked about which will be dealt with this work. As it is clearly evident from the occurring that exploitation of mineral resources do happen and it transmits horrific encroachments on the environment causing threats to our existence. So, preservation of it should be focused on very much. This work deals with mineral resources, types of mineral resources, exploitation of mineral resources, its impact on the environment, how the environment can be protected, and the necessity of preservation of mineral resources and the environment. Exploitation of mineral resources. In the ancient times, the natural resources or mineral resources were abundant as the population was under control. With the passage of time, the population increased in bulk that the usefulness of mineral resources became inevitable for the existence of mankind. The dawn of the 19th century witnessed the augmentation of the population, which flared over each aspect that never ended. The Industrial Revolution, merged with the increase in population, altered the whole setup of the globe and pressured the people depend more on machines and artificial things in their day-to-day life. There are three types of mineral resources, namely geological resources, environmental resources, and economic resources. Geological resources are those resources which are elicited outright from the Earth's crust. The development as a whole, including industrial as well as the lifestyle of mankind, is based on this mineral resource. At the present time, the whole human race is completely clubbed with the mineral resources that it is impossible to imagine how a society existed here without mineral resources or geological resources. Now, geological resources are essential in all sectors, from the implements of everyday use, machineries, bridges, transport vehicles, aircrafts, the whole industry, buildings, and so on. Geological resources include natural gas, fossil fuel, crude oil, mineral ores, rocks, gold, coal, iron ore, copper, lead, zinc, mountain and valleys, chromite, lignite, gypsum, bauxite, limestone, mineral oil, diamond, and dolomite. Environmental resources are mineral resources from which we get potential benefits directly. These are the factors that are most closely associated with the land, which possess an inherent quality of its own. They comprise animal and plant kingdom, natural scenario, landscapes research, evaluation, the value of crops relative to water and soil resources, its function as a monitor of regional and local weather, and the atmospheric composition. It also covers the role of soil and water as the supervisors of nutrient cycles, controllers of weather condition, and handling animal and human diseases. Economic resource includes four major factors, namely land, labor, entrepreneurship, and capital. Economic resources are services or commodities satisfying the human desires and needs. Raw materials and natural resources come under land, human efforts in all sense come under labor, visionaries and business leaders are entrepreneurs, and the goods are the capital. Natural resources, natural services, and natural amenities. Natural goods. These are resources that can be extracted traditional wise. It includes fossil fuels, metallic ores, silver, oil, copper, gas, gold, natural gas, iron, etc. This also comprises natural rubber, fisheries, wild game, biological supplies, etc. Natural services. Examples of these resources are water, soil for production, air and its purification, stratospheric ozone layer, and carbon cycle. Natural amenities. This refers to the natural services provided for improving the quality of life. These three categories comprise mineral resources as a whole. The distribution of resources is uneven in the Earth's crust, but when shared, the resources satisfy the requirements of the people of the globe without any complaints. As these mineral resources are uneven, the people find it difficult to deal with the availability of it to meet their requirements. For meeting the needs, almost all the people will approach the source providing the minerals at low cost to make huge profit from it. This has resulted in the exploitation of resources. In the fully mechanized 20th century, about 80% of energy for extraction is from fossil fuels in the form of gas, coal, and oil. Next, major categories of minerals utilized by human beings presently are subsoil minerals in the form of precious metals, which are used in the manufacturing of industrial commodities. The Industrial Revolution brought in the use of technologies in agriculture in extensive range, resulting in the mass production of vegetation, blocking the mineral resources in many facets. Examples for the above said calamity are degradation of the forest or pollution of water resources. Mineral resources under pressure. Reasons. Some of the significant causes for putting the mineral resources under pressure are dealt with below. Sophisticated technologies. Economic growth attained by the developed and developing countries at a fast pace is the major reason for the overexploitation of mineral resources. As the technologies became more and more complex, the quickness with which it attained progress was unpredictable. The final outcome was the depletion of natural resources efficiently and quickly. The human beings always concentrated on their returns rather than the future generation. Increase in population. The rapid increase in population sets the utilization of mineral resources in a massive manner. The people's needs did not meet with a limit. It went on and on that the extraction and use of mineral resources exceeded the limit to meet the needs of human beings. Here, the problem lies in the fact that the mineral resources available are limited, but the population strength is unlimited. Culture of consumption. Consumption of goods and services has become the part and parcel of life. It has now become the voice of our culture. The more and more we produce, the more we consume. The creation, management, and utilization of the goods produced extracts energy from the mineral resources available. So, an increase in the consumption will naturally result in a reciprocal exploitation of resources. Excessive demand and competition for mineral resources. Though in many countries, laws have been introduced regarding the trading and mining of mineral resources, those have become incapable to control the dealings with the resources in a sound manner. This has occurred due to the excessive demand for it. As the mineral resources are unevenly distributed, global trading is now inevitable. These all have grown up a competitive spirit among the mass, which has led them to the misuse of mineral resources. Present mode of consumerism. As the people started earning more than their need, they started going beyond the luxurious life filled with unnecessary items such as platinum and diamond, which are the present focus. These are used in making jewelry items, displaying the opulence of their possession. For this luxury in the life, people do invest much. This prompts the laborers to go in search of it and make profit out of it. This has made the mineral resources come under pressure. Environmental impacts of exploitation of mineral resources. Extraction of mineral resources is an ongoing process as its need in the globe is increasing day by day. It is part of technology to the food we eat. The trouble prevails in the extraction of minerals from the soil, the way used in extraction, and its aftermaths caused in the environment. Elimination of species. The variety of species that is rare play an important role in the life of human beings and in maintaining the ecological balance of the earth. Nearly 90% of the food crop is stemmed from the rare wild cultivation. Rare medicines are extracted from these rare species. These species serve in avoiding the pollution of water, air, and land. It regulates climate bringdown, flooding, and exploitation, and plays an important role in piling up solar energy. But deforestation, soil erosion, and killing of animals due to the exploitation of mineral resources results in elimination of these rare species, causing an imbalance in ecological maintenance. Desertification. The slow process of turning a semi-arid productive land to unproductive land. The regular cause of desertification is the pathetic land management due to mining, unsustainable agriculture, climate change, overgrazing, and clear-cutting process. In the current situation, to meet the demand for timber and fuel wood, the crops are removed, which result in erosion and removal of the topmost soil. The issue of desertification is an issue which needs a concern of world attention. Oil depletion. Exploitation of mineral resources has resulted in the low supply of oil because of the degraded supply of oil in well or oil fields. Oil depletion can be defined as producing oil quickly than the rate it can be renewed. In the year 2010, researchers conducted a study on energy policy which ended in the conclusion that the production rate has crossed its peak and now it is on its route of decline curve. Here, the demand is going to surmount the supply. Forced migration. It is a common disaster occurring by the movement of people from one place to another because of natural calamities or man-made disasters. Because of water, air and land pollution in extreme level, people are forced to migrate to escape from the awaiting diseases or calamities in other forms. It may also be due to the scarcity of food, water and land for meeting the needs and requirements of people. Natural disaster. Due to natural disaster, the whole atmosphere undergoes a drastic change. It's happening from the natural course of action on Earth. This happens because of the changes occurring in the alteration of the climate of the Earth's atmosphere. When the atmosphere is disturbed to its extreme, it will naturally start reacting. It is this reaction which appears in the form of calamities. Environmental protection in parallel with utilization of mineral resources. Exploitation of mineral resources in a stepwise manner will surely cause adverse effects on the environment. It will be a challenging event to overcome for the mankind. It is the atmosphere which maintains the ecological balance of the globe. This balance is interrupted in the surroundings of the mining arena, which causes a threat to the existence of human beings. In order to prevent all these adverse effects on the environment and maintain a balanced ecological system, it has become necessary to preserve the protection of the environment along with utilization of mineral resources. While the development is the main aim of all countries, it is too significant to have an eye on its touch upon the environment so that it may keep the nature's framework of preservation of resources remain intact. The need to maintain sustainability by doing away with adverse causes is now accepted as an inevitable feature so as to ensure the well-being of humanity of the future generation. To do away with the influence of the environment, it is essential to identify the problem, sort out the ways to avoid it, and to exert positive effects. Among these steps, the third one, enhancing the positive effects, is of great importance. It is this step which renders us with the methodologies to be followed to ameliorate the environment in parallel with the development procedure. Some steps which can be taken to protect the environment are as follows. Go forward by cohering to the strategy of balanced stress on the development and usage of mineral resources in lateral to the protection of environment by putting prevention in the prime place and control next to it. Provide correct guidance to the organization involved in safe production and cleaning procedures in the area of mining. Strictly adhere to the policy of paying the penalties for the mining areas polluting the surroundings. Prevent the mineral resource exploitation which causes hazardous impacts on the environment. Ban the exploration and utilization of mineral resources in areas weak in ecological circumstances. Do not allow mineral resource exploration and utilization in significant picturesque areas, natural conservation regions, and geological arenas. The first step to be followed when starting a new project of exploitation of mineral resources is assessing the effect it may cause on the environment. When preparing a framework for the exploitation of mineral resources, a draft of protection of the above said environmental background should also be devised. This report is to be submitted before the government authorities for their approval after sanctioning all the terms and conditions put forward by the government for the protection of the environment. The government should take strict action studying whether the parties have complied with the terms and conditions, and only then they should approve it. Conclusion. Let's now conclude the whole knowledge that we have acquired in this assignment regarding Environmental implications of exploitation of mineral resources. There are three major types of minerals, namely geographical, economic, and environmental minerals. They include natural gas, fossil fuel, crude oil, mineral ores, rocks, gold, coal, iron ore, copper, lead, zinc, mountain and valleys, chromite, lignite, gypsum, bauxite, limestone, mineral oil, diamond, and dolomite. Economic resources include land, labor, entrepreneurship, and capital. Environmental resources are animal and plant kingdom, natural landscapes, value of crops relative to water and soil resources. Exploitation of mineral resources include the use of sophisticated technologies in all sectors. This has resulted in the depletion of mineral resources. The rate of depletion has increased on a large scale with the invention of innovative technologies day by day. Increase in population is another factor in causing the exploitation of mineral resources. The more and more we produce, the more we consume. This is the principle of our present society. The change that has happened to our consumerism is another aspect which has exploited the mineral resources. In the competitive world, there is an excessive demand for the mineral resources as it is needed in one form or the other in all fields of operations. Here comes the importance of protecting the environment parallel to the exploitation of mineral resources. Here comes the need of involvement of the government along with each individual and organization. The government should take drastic steps towards environment destruction by exploitation of mineral resources. It should always focus on usage of mineral resources and take apt steps to avoid over-exploitation of mineral resources. Each individual should make him aware of the need of an environment free of hazardous impacts. He should get educated on this matter and convey it to his family, friends, and relatives. Assure their participation in this endeavor. This will help us and our future generation get an environment free of the impacts of exploitation of mineral resources and preserve the mineral resources for the mankind in time to come.